Hey guys, welcome back to Clover Mobile. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the free-to-play problem that occurs in every gacha game, and this one is no different, and that is going to be what to save your summons for, because it's always a consideration, and obviously RNG and luck is a thing, but at the end of the day, you got to decide whether you're going to use your tickets or not, and fantastically, I have the perfect number of tickets, and yes, I'm immature, and it always makes me laugh, but we're going to talk about it because we have 4 new characters coming up, and I want to go through what I am personally going to do, and then you guys can decide what you might want to do. So if we go over to the glossary, we can see the next 4 characters that we have coming up because they're already in the game. Now keep in mind, we are expecting Summer Noelle to come soon after these guys, and she is an absolute monster. Now we don't know if they are going to change how much they'll change things from the Korean and JP, from the Canadian version over to the global version. You know, in the previous one, she was a seasonal unit, so I'm assuming we should get that seasonal, but you know, I'm just keeping in mind that we don't exactly know what their plans are for global, so we're gonna wait and see. But Noelle was absolutely insane, and she is coming, and for that reason, the upcoming characters we have are gonna be Licht and Raya on a banner together, and then we're gonna have Vetto and Fauna on a banner together. Now, the thing with these is, my personal play is I might do 10 to 20 pulls on the Licht Raya banner because I'm a degenerate and I just have my summon finger is just super itchy and I can't help but scratch it sometimes. That's my problem. But in general, if I'm strong-willed, I am going to skip all of these banners. Now I want to talk briefly about these characters, but then why I'm skipping them. So the first one we'll talk about is the Fauna Vetto banner. Dude, I can't talk right now. But that banner, it really annoys me because I love those 2 characters from the anime. Vetto is like, I just wish he was good. If I pull a Vetto, I will definitely build him if I pull him when he goes to the standard banner later on, because I just think he's a cool character, even if he's not the greatest. But let's talk about that banner and why I don't think that banner is worth it. So first of all, we have Fauna. Now, she is a blue unit, a blue attacking unit. She's very AoE based, so yes, she's really good at farming PvE and stuff like that. But in general, for me, myself, I've already built blue Yami for my blue team. I don't need a blue damage dealer. And I think a lot of people already have a blue damage dealer built. Even if you went ahead and went with Solid Silver or you went with Gauche, I think you're pretty much set up and you don't need a Fauna. Now, obviously, if you just love the character, you can always go for it. I mean, she's got the dragon. I mean, it's just sick. But I'm going to be strong. Then we have Vetto. Now, Vetto is one of those characters where he's trying to be a defense character that also ramps up his attack. So let's have a quick look and I'll explain my logic with him. First of all, he's got a boss passive. Doesn't help me in PvP where I want to use my characters ideally. Bossing is just like a sub thing. I like focusing on PvP, and then I can, you know, get through PvE with just about anything at the end of the day. That's the way I play games. But he's got this thing where he basically he gets himself the extra life steal, but then as allies die, he's going to increase his damage dealt. So the whole idea is he's a tank, but then he amplifies his damage and amplifies his healing. But the problem is with this whole system, as you can see, we've got extra life steal here. The problem with this whole system for him is that he doesn't have any damage mitigation. I love characters with these types of kits in games, but normally when they have this type of kit, they also have a stacking, when they have this stacking damage increase, they normally have a stacking damage taken decrease, so that they can survive. The problem with this game, and you'll feel it in PvP, is she can get one shot really quickly if you're building them offensive. Maybe I'll experiment if I do pull him on different builds, but I just don't think it's reliable enough in what they're trying to do. I don't think they've done it well enough. The other thing is, for me on my account, I already have myself a Leopold that I've pulled, and I'd rather use him for my fire damage dealer at the moment for PvE if I had to. But I've also got Season 1 Asta, who is the one I will probably end up using because he's good in PvP as well. So he's like my #1 fire damage dealer. So I'm basically stacked in am I saying fire? Red. I'm stacked in red. I can't help it. Fire, water, grass. It's just the thing. But yeah, he's my red unit. I'm pretty much set up. So I just don't think he's good enough to warrant people going all in for him. And especially for me, because I got 2 other options as well. And hey, if you don't have some of these other units, I mean, we're pretty set up in red units to do a red PvE team anyway. We all get the free Charlotte. Then you got Funeral, who's absolutely amazing. We've all got a free Mimosa for a healer. And then we've also got the free Asta for a tank if you're absolutely desperate to go in and start doing a red team. So I don't think it's really necessary. Moving on from that, we have the Licht and Raya banner. Now, these two do have a really cool combo. They team up really well. So I think both of these on the same team would be really nice. We got Licht when he uses his combo attack with this one. He grants himself Death Pen level 2, but then we've got Raya who then copies the buffs and does, so he does that. So attacks after copying one buff of the partner mage, which is really cool. I just think their combo is going to be insane. They're both very, very strong at just... I was almost going to say wind there. They're both very strong green damage dealers, but the problem for me is I don't see the need for them as a free-to-play player to go ahead and pull for these banners when I've got Yuno if I'm absolutely desperate. Like, I'm not looking to build a green team yet, but if I do, Yuno's actually a pretty decent free-to-play option. So I'm covered. And these two, I don't think will impact the meta enough in PvP for me to want to pull them. Plus, they're not going to like they're not like a must-have in my opinion for general farming and stuff like that. So that's why I'm not too stressed on this banner, but these are both good units. However, I just think with Summer Noel coming, that is something that I would rather save a ton of summons for to go ahead and bring it to that. So that is the way I'm looking at it. Like I said, the other thing when we look at these two is I think they will be meta for a little bit. In PvP, we'll have to see. I think the one thing I'm excited about these two coming into the PvP is that it might shake it up a bit because everyone is using Mars and Lotus, and that is just the PvP meta. However, these two may make people, if some of the whales get them, they might use these to counter that. But then if they're on defense, you know, we've got Asta. And I feel like as we get a few more of these units into the game, maybe PvP meta shakes up a bit because it's fairly stale at the moment. But like I said, those two are green units. We've got one great counter to them who can just absolutely tap them, which is Asta. And then if we get Summer Noel, which we're expecting to get her very soon after these four characters, then you know, Summer Noel is red and she's going to take over the meta. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm kind of waiting to see. The good thing about these banners is they will be around for a while. So if you want to wait and see, make sure Summer Noel is coming. You can wait and see. So you don't have to pull on day one. That's the thing that you always got to remember. You don't have to pull on day one. You can wait and see how it evolves and see what other information we find out before you go ahead and dump summons into anything. But like I said, I really do like these guys, but just keep in mind, they will go onto the standard banner in the future, so you're not completely missing your opportunity to get them. They will be obtainable, but you will need a bit of luck to get there, but in general they will be obtainable still in the future. So that's why I'm not too stressed on getting them, and I don't think any of them are going to be impactful enough for an account for me to go for, especially when we've got something like Summer Noel coming, who is just going to be an absolute monster. Now, we will probably get, if she's a seasonal character, we will be able to get that free copy of her, but I will probably go deeper on the banner. I'll have to wait and see and go for a couple dupes, but I'll do a whole video talking about my future progression character plan in the future. Anyway, guys, that is where I'm at. Free to play, it's always a thing. Do you summon or do you not? For these ones, I'm going to skip and wait and see. If Summer Noel doesn't come, then maybe I put a few more summons in because I do want to, you know, get some more SR dupes and stuff like that. But if she is coming, then I'm definitely going to say I skip, but I'll probably do 10 on 20 because I'm a degen. But anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.